However, you can be vegan and not be healthy.
Correct.
Because think about all of those junk foods, processed foods, and processed is a key word here, that are vegan. Coca-Cola, French fries, chips. A lot of these are vegan. They don't have any animal products. They don't have any dairy. They don't have any meat. Certainly not healthy. Hello, welcome back to episode number 20 of the Circee Health Pod. How exciting and glorious, and we didn't even realize it's been 20 episodes because we've been having so much fun. And time goes by so fast when you're having fun. Okay, I've been having fun.
Yeah, I think most of our episodes have been 2 episodes, so that means we've gone basically almost 40 parts that people can listen to.
Wow.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
All right, well today we have what we consider to be a very exciting topic. Hopefully you all do too.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a timeline to the hour, to the day, to the week of changes that your body will go through once you decide, hopefully, to become more plant-based. There's some exciting changes that you can look forward to that have been marked and proved again and again in medical literature. So we'll talk about them, and hopefully it will encourage you to try this way of living and eating.
No studies this time.
No studies that you're going to quote?
No.
All right, well, we'll just leave it up to you to prove us if you want to look on PubMed, but we won't bore you with the facts.
Yeah,
at
no,
least
I'll just go
for
through
the
some
most
fundamentals.
part.
So, okay.
Just to remind you that our goal in these podcasts is to educate you and, of course, to empower you. We want you to be able to prevent and or bid farewell to any chronic disease and health issues permanently. I'm Dr. Ajoy Prabhu. I am a double-boarded, meaning doubly trained physician, MD physician, both in internal medicine, the study and treatment of adults, and pediatrics, the study and treatment of kiddos.
Perfect. And I'm Ajoy Prabhu. I am a research pathologist, and my job in my academia was really to find the true causes of diseases and report it back to doctors such as Dr. Jenny, and so that they can tweak their treatment and cures for...
Treat their treatment.
What?
Select their treatments, maybe.
Tweak their treatments.
Tweet?
Tweak!
Oh, tweak.
Oh my
I think you meant tweet. Sorry.
Did you spike that coffee?
No.
Tweak the treatment. Yeah. So let's get going with it.
So clearly hearing is not something that will improve on a plant-based
No, it
diet.
will not.
And also just my favorite little reminder to all of you listening, please, before you decide to embark on any such lifestyle change, diet, exercise plan, etc., please do check with your family doctor, personal physician. Make sure this is the right decision for you, the correct decision, safe decision, because obviously we don't want to lead you down any wayward path.
On that note, I just wanted to, 2 things I just want to bring up, kind of not administrative, but one is that the previous podcast that we did, I did mention that the worksheet is online, but if you cannot find it, all you have to do now is subscribe to our channel. Just go to our website, circeehealth.com/podcast, and you'll see a button that says subscribe. Present your email address, click that button, hit subscribe, and instantly you should be able to get the worksheet that we mentioned.
Spreadsheet.
It's a table, worksheet, spread. You want to call it spreadsheet?
Yeah, referring, of course, to our last podcast that gave you a 7-day model plan for being healthier.
And also, thank you to all those people that have actually started reviewing our rating.
Thank you. Thank you,
guys. It really
we appreciate it.
Yeah, because that's the only way people will find out about us, and we'll be able to grow so that these messages can go to more people.
And it encourages us.
Yes, it absolutely does, because we are very excited every time we see some, a new rating go up there.
As long as it's positive.
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as it's not like, hey, one star, these guys suck.
Oh.
All right, so let's get into it.
So I guess before we get into talking about the specific changes that your body will go through when you start a plant-based lifestyle, maybe we should talk about all those different quote-unquote diets that are floating around these days that have become en vogue, right? Because it can get confusing. In fact, I actually sat and was reading up a little bit before we started this podcast to make sure I've gotten everything correct, because it can be confusing.
Yeah. And after we go through the diets, I really want to emphasize that what we are trying to do is not encourage you to get into a diet, right? So we'll talk about the ones that are really, really long lasting, or actually a lifestyle change that will help you. Because what we advocate is not just a plant-based diet. We also advocate proper exercise and mindfulness and yoga, meditation, fasting. Yes. Keep forgetting that fasting. Okay. So you want to start from the top and then go down
from our favorite.
Yeah, from our favorite. Yes.
So our favorite is WFPB, aka whole food plant-based.
Why is it called based? Why can't we just call it whole food, whole plants?
I don't know. I didn't name it.
Okay.
It just sounds cool. WFPB. I think. Anyway, I think yes, it is. I think especially this guy here likes to differentiate between whole food plant-based and being vegan. So that might be a good place to start.
Yep. Go ahead.
His favorite example is, so basically vegan means vegetarian with the addition of taking out all animal products. So animal products include any dairy and eggs. In India, of course, vegetarian means no eggs, but in much of the rest of the world, eggs are included in being vegetarian. But vegan and whole food plant-based do not include eggs at all. They do not include any dairy. So that means butter, milk, cheese, cream. What am I missing? Yogurt, dahi, lassi, those sort of things. So malai and whey protein.
Malai is cream for those.
Whey protein is also a dairy product,
yes, please
and
keep that in mind.
We'll have that more info on whey protein versus other plant-based. Versus other proteins in another episode. We were talking about that today.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. That does count as dairy. That counts as an animal product. So if you're having a protein shake and it says whey protein, that is not plant-based. That is not vegan.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Yeah. So the difference, though, so WFPB and veganism have that in common. They don't include any animal products. You can be vegan and not be healthy.
Correct.
Because think about all of those junk foods, and processed is a key word here, that are vegan. Coca-Cola, French fries, chips, Twizzlers, licorice, candies. A lot of these are vegan. They don't have any animal products. They don't have any dairy. They don't have any meat. But certainly not healthy.
I'm so sorry. I said that I'm not going to quote any studies.
We're so close. Actually, we're not close at all because it's just the beginning of the episode. Please go on.
So there was a study conducted in Boston. I don't remember when, but I can pull it up if anybody's interested. What? Nobody's interested in that. That compared the survival statistics. There's a survival statistic called Kaplan-Meier survival statistics. I won't get into it. Don't worry. But that kind of charts the survival of different, whatever group. So they charted vegans versus vegetarians versus non-vegetarians versus pescatarians, the ones that eat only fish. And guess what? Worst were the meat eaters. Next were the fish eaters. Next were the vegans. Then were the vegetarians. Then were the whole food plant-based. Meaning the longest survival is whole food plant-based, followed by vegetarian
over vegan.
And that is because vegans eat a lot of processed food.
And processed food, of course, means it's been changed from its original form.
It does not look like a plant or a grain or a fruit or a vegetable.
So if you think about a good example of processed versus whole food, I often think about maida versus whole grains.
Maida is
all-purpose flour or white flour, whatever you want to call it. So it's white because, you look at a field of grains, it's not white, right? And it's not powdery, hopefully. So obviously that's not in its natural form. It's been processed in a plant to become easier to sell, easier to digest, more expensive sometimes. So in all aspects, it's not good for you. Of course, we're not saying you never need to have maida again, but just try to limit it. Yeah. It is still vegan, but it is ultra processed.
Yeah. So there was I think guy from, was it Dan Buettner that said, no. I don't remember who said it, but I really like this quote, which is, eat plants, not something made in one. Meaning, not something that's coming out of a factory or
Right.
something coming out of a packet, like a pack of chips is vegan,
Yeah.
but not whole food plant-based.
Like we'd much rather you eat an apple than drink sugary apple juice.
There's one more difference between vegan and I thought I didn't really think, this has nothing to do with medicine, by the way. And that is, veganism is really associated with trying to be good in nature, trying to be
animal welfare,
environmentally friendly, etc. Just wanted to,
that's the main drive with vegans, which is of course not a bad thing. It's a great thing. But with whole food plant-based, it's more the health aspect.
Yeah, we look at, maybe being a little selfish here, but we look at our health with the whole food plant-based foods and make sure that our health is good. And,
and you get the bonus of helping animals and saving the world.
Right, saving the world.
Rock on. Okay, moving on from our two favorites, or I guess our favorite, whole food plant-based, to vegans. Next, let's talk about what I had to. Well, actually, no. Let's go to something that I think is still fine and healthy, but might end up being a problem because it's a little difficult to follow and a little expensive, and that is gluten-free. So gluten-free actually, now it's very fancy. Everyone is gluten-free, but where did it come from originally? It actually came from a disease called.
Me the question.
It's just the general rhetorical question,
which you don't want me to answer anyway.
Would you like to answer?
Nah, it's okay. Go ahead.
So where did gluten-free originally come from? It really came from as a treatment for a disease initially, and it still is. But now it's become more in vogue, and people are.
I mean, there has something to be said about the fact that more and more people are eating more wheat products. That's for sure.
I'll get to that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, where its origins came from. Okay. Also, we'll get to this in a little bit where keto came from too. But anyway, so celiac disease itself is what the original treatment, a gluten-free diet, came from. So celiac is it's an autoimmune disease. It's an inflammatory condition that often children are diagnosed with it when they start to lose weight and they start to have stomach pain and anemia and that sort of thing. Then one of the first things we look at is, do they have celiac disease? Because their gut is inflamed and therefore they can't absorb nutrients. Why is their gut inflamed? Because they are sensitive to gluten, which is the protein found in wheat.
Why are they sensitive to that? Because the gut cannot differentiate between the protein coming from the wheat and its own
right, so it
cells.
Attacks it, basically, and it doesn't absorb it. Hence the autoimmune condition. So this can be genetic, but it can also be idiopathic. Idiopathic means doctors are idiots and we don't know why, but it just happens. That's my favorite term. So that's the origin of gluten-free diet. There is also, people can actually be allergic, which is a different mechanism of why someone needs to be gluten-free. If they're actually allergic to wheat, then, it's different. Instead of losing weight and diarrhea and that sort of thing that you can get from celiac as a symptom, you actually get anaphylaxis, which is swelling of the throat and vomiting and all this, and low blood pressure, or hives, et cetera, et cetera. Sorry, I'm going into my medicine now. But basically, that's where it came from. Now, why is there, maybe since I'm rambling, Ajoy, you want to talk about why more people are going gluten-free now?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's probably because more and more products are being made with wheat, more and more refined processed wheat, and therefore more and more people are exposed to it, and suddenly we are finding the people, maybe they had never eaten this much wheat before, and suddenly they're like, oh, my stomach does not feel good. And I used to make fun of this, right?
Yes,
earlier, till I really looked into it a little bit more, and I said, oh, okay, fine. It's not like, okay, fine. Celiac disease, like Dr. Jenny said, is like maybe in 0.001% of the population. However, the rest of us, or not us meaning the two of us, I'm talking about the general population, there is definitely an increase in the gut sensitivity. And it's probably because of this, increase in wheat usage and GMO. I'm not even sure if it's GMO or
just
not.
generalized inflammation.
Generalized inflammation. Oh, that also we need to get to.
We'll get to that. But so basically, you do not have to have celiac disease to be sensitive to gluten. A lot of people just feel better when they don't eat gluten. And there's no problem in not eating gluten, although the only problem can be in your wallet and maybe just finding something that's gluten-free when you're out and about. So that's gluten-free. What's next?
There is something to be said about, especially, I don't know why I want to mention it for gluten-free, but maybe I'll pause it and I'll talk about all the diets later on. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can. I think we should have another podcast just on gluten-free diet and et cetera, because that's a big topic. So, by the way, if you are gluten-free, you can find some fabulous recipes on our new and improved. Maybe this is the time to talk about our new food-centered enterprise called Circee Eats. So check out Circee Eats for some entertaining recipes and videos and other fun facts.
What is Circee Eats, doctor?
Circee Eats, Ajoy, is Circee Eats is a couple things. It's first and foremost a subscription service. If you're from the U.S., you might remember services such as Purple Carrot or I can't remember any other ones, but basically healthy food is delivered to you. We're thinking of having two different options. One where you have to make it yourself, but we provide the ingredients already measured out and prepackaged, or just pre-made food that you that you just open up and eat and have a great dinner. So that's our idea. We're also going to be selling some other exciting plant-based foods, gluten-free foods, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, still in the works, so keep an eye out for it. We have not yet launched it.
It's not officially there, but
just one of those previews for you guys.
Yes. Okay, moving on. Now, the last two that I also had to remind myself of the difference between, because I always mix them up, is keto and paleo. So I alluded to where keto came from. A keto diet, or going into ketosis, which is when you no longer have carbohydrates or glucose to burn, you start, essentially, your body burns fat. And the result of that is ketones, which is, if you've ever used nail polish remover, is like a fruity smell, almost like an alcoholic smell that you get on your breath, that you get in your urine and that sort of thing. So that's the goal of people that are on a keto diet. It was initially used to treat pediatric seizure disorders. And actually it still is used for that. I learned about the keto diet in medical school when I was on my pediatric rotation for the first time. So it is still used for that, and it's very effective. And and I don't know that we really know why that is for that particular seizure disorder. So now, though, people realize when you go into ketosis, you start burning fat, right? So that, of course, is a goal for a lot of people, to burn fat and to lose weight, to get more muscle, and et cetera, et cetera. So that's where the origins of the keto diet. So keto versus paleo. Paleo, it's going back to what our ancestors, it's also called the caveman diet or cavewoman diet. So the good thing about the paleo diet is you're not eating processed foods at all. That's completely off the table. Nothing can be processed. So fruits, vegetables, no legumes, which anyway, we don't like, no grains, no legumes, but fruits, vegetables.
Yeah, we're not talking about what we like and what we don't like, or what is scientific and what is not scientific.
Fruits, vegetables, meat, fish, eggs, no dairy. Keto is vegetables, meat,
non-fatty
fish,
vegetables.
Yes, particular vegetables, of course, meat and fish, and dairy. So they do use dairy. They use, butter and cream. And basically keto, the goal is to have a very high fat diet. Up to 90% of your diet is fat, because you want to get into this ketosis mode. Paleo is more just eating healthier overall, less refined foods, but for whatever reason excludes legumes.
And they add a fair bit of meat.
Yes.
I mean, some
people
don't.
do. Both of these can be modified actually to be whole food plant-based, but that's all, I think, again, that's another thing we can talk about later. It's very difficult.
Yeah, and we're not going to talk about the pluses and minuses and medical evidence.
We're just defining them.
Right? Just now, we're simply defining it. As far as we are concerned, we see, I think Dr. Jenny already mentioned that paleo can be a lifestyle modification, and say, okay, long term, till the time. The way I look at it is, when you are 88, what is it that you want to, what is it that you want to be able to eat? Do you want to still count calories, or do you want to, be do you want to just simply say, okay, yeah, more or less I know what I want to eat, and continue with that, right? So those kind of diets really, if they are completely incorporated into your daily routine, are fine. So paleo is fine that way. I'm not talking about the medical evidence again. Veganism is fine because once you're on it, you know it's a lifestyle change. But for us, most importantly, whole food plant-based is fine because you can eat as much as you want. You don't have to count calories.
Or macros.
Or macros. Oh, this much protein, this much carb, this much fat, blah blah blah. You don't have to do any of that. You just
sustainable.
You just eat as much as you want. No problems.
As long as it's in the whole food plant-based category.
Yeah, I just said whole food plant-based, right? So, okay. So that's as far as the definition is concerned. Now, I'm just wondering, should we just quickly go over the essential components of the
and then we'll move on to the actual time.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. So you want to take this on in terms of the what are the essential components of a whole food plant-based diet?
Yeah, so I think I talked about it a little bit in my definition, but basically two parts of it: whole food, plant-based.
Yeah.
So plant-based means no animal products, including dairy and eggs. Whole foods means not processed. So of course, fruits and vegetables are number one, and ding ding ding, legumes, my favorite. So legumes means kidney beans, rajma, chana or chickpeas, lentils, black beans, white beans, whatever beans strike your fancy, because I consider those to be the perfect food. They have fiber and protein and vitamins, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, I could go on about beans for days. So that's the... sorry.
But no, I was going to say, just adding that fact that, for example, you take out the meats and you reduce the oils. We never talked about the oils.
Yes, we didn't talk about oils.
So not having animal waste oil, obviously, but even in plant-based oils, there are lots of oils that are really bad for you. Like palm oil is bad, right?
Yes.
Coconut oil is good, as far as you're concerned. Goodish.
I was saying of the two, like, quote unquote bad, definitely palm oil is bad, not only for health, but also for the environment. And coconut oil is maybe not, but the rest of the plant-based oils are healthy. So olive oil, avocado oil, nut oils, peanut oil, those are all excellent for you. But we still say yes, you can have them, but in limited amounts.
And for that, I just want to let you guys know that I don't think we have made a podcast, but we have a video, a very short, like 5 or 6 minute video on YouTube about how do you reduce the amount of oil that you intake on a daily basis. Yeah. You may want to look at that.
Yeah, not just added oils, but in other things.
I think we blabbered enough.
Wait, one more thing about whole food plant-based.
Okay.
You can have grains.
Okay.
So I think that's one of these few diets that allows you to have actual whole grains like wheat,
rice,
barley. Yeah, wheat, rice, barley, quinoa, of course, all these ancient grains, which are very good for you and happen to be gluten-free also, jowar, sorghum, that sort of thing. So, that's also included in the whole food plant-based umbrella. It's important to know.
Okay.
So, sorry.
No. I just wanted to say that I think we've rambled enough. I think we should now go on to exactly what happens in the timeline. Isn't that what our subject line was?
We haven't even gotten there yet. All right. Well, stay tuned for part 2.
Yeah, because it's already 16, 17 minutes. I think we should stop here. And
now you're so excited to know about this timeline that you'll definitely turn into part 2.
Because the timeline really has some really what's the word? Some surprises.
Yeah,
right?
exciting.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
Right.
See you soon in part 2.
All right.
And remember, leave us a review, subscribe.
Yeah.
We'll love you forever. Ciao.
Thank you.
We really hope you enjoyed our conversation. Can you think about one thing or an idea that you can start to introduce into your own life that will help make your life healthier and less stressful?
If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd really appreciate it if you can take a few seconds to share the podcast with your friends and family. Thank you so much for listening.
And always remember, your health is literally in your own hands. Making lifestyle changes is not an easy task, but we promise you will be aptly rewarded with a long, healthy, and disease-free life.